So the Jacksonville Jaguars have found our offensive coordinator. After John DeFilippo was fired or he left, mutually parted ways, whatever that means. John DeFilippo is no longer the offensive coordinator of the Jaguars, obviously. So that began a search for a new offensive coordinator. We saw different names popping up like Scott Linehan. There was Ben McAdoo out there. But the Jaguars decided to hire former Washington Redskins head coach Jay Gruden as the offensive coordinator. And I really do like this hire. I mean, of all the names that we saw out there, this is probably the name that I wanted. And really, when you hire an offensive coordinator, there is going to be some baggage there, because the reason why they're not a head coach right now is because either they're very young and, that might be their first offensive coordinator experience, or they might have failed as a head coach and they're kind of going back a step. And that's kind of how Jay Gruden is. Jay Gruden was the head coach for the Washington Redskins since the 2014 season, and he was kind of a lame duck head coach going into the season. And after starting off the season 0-5, they decided to fire him. So the final 11 games of the season, he was kind of watching the NFL as a fan, as a bystander. So it kind of gave him time to kind of sit back and watch the game a little bit. While he was the Redskins head coach, he was 35-49-1. And before the Washington Redskins, he was the offensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals for 3 seasons. And each of those seasons, he did lead a really good offense, and the Bengals made the playoffs every year in that, in his tenure as the office coordinator for the Bengals. And I really like this hire. I mean, he comes in here as a successful offensive coordinator, and he comes in as a very experienced head coach. So he's going to come in with some experience, and I really think that the Jaguars need a good offensive mind in, behind the offense, just because even though Doug Marrone is an offensive line coach, it seems like he's more of like an overseer stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't see Doug Marrone as any kind of offensive genius or offensive guru or anything like that. He just seems like, he seems like more of a position coach or like an overseer. And I think Jay Gruden is the guy that will be able to take over this offense and do good things with them. And now is his decision on what he wants to do at quarterback. When he was in the Bengals, he had a lot of success with Andy Dalton. But after he moved on from there, he dealt with a lot of quarterbacks over there for the Redskins. He had Robert Griffin III. He had Kirk Cousins, Alex Smith, Case Keenum. He had Dwayne Haskins for a little bit, but I don't think Dwayne Haskins ever actually played with him as the head coach. So, I mean, this guy's dealt with a lot of different quarterbacks, so we'll see what he's most comfortable with. I have a feeling Minshew is going to be the guy, and at the end of the day, Foles is just going to be a really expensive and I guess a high ceiling or a high floor backup. I don't know. I mean, it stinks benching, keeping all that money on a bench, but I'm not playing a guy for his money. So, Jay Gruden is the head coach. Now, one thing that I do worry about with this hire is that, he could be like a coach in waiting. You know what I mean? Like, Doug Marrone was the offensive line coach for a couple years before he took over as head coach. And, they kept the defense coordinator, Todd Wash, around. They promoted Nathaniel Hackett and let him stay up offensive coordinator. Shad Khan is lazy in his head coaching searches. I mean, he is. And, he could just promote him from within if the season goes bad, because he doesn't like firing people. And, ironically enough, the Jaguars actually did interview Jay Gruden in 2012 for the head coach position before hiring Mike Mularkey. And, he actually stuck with the Bengals as the offensive coordinator. But the Jaguars had some interest in him beforehand. So, Jay Gruden is going to be the offensive coordinator of the Jaguars. I really do like this hire, and I like it more than having John DeFilippo stay. Now, the downside is that we have our third offensive coordinator in 3 years. It sucks learning new systems like year after year. It really does. And, DJ Chark will be in his third offense in 3 years. Every single year he's had a new offensive coordinator. It's not ideal, but sometimes, in the NFL, in a results-oriented league where you are graded by one thing, wins and losses, I guess it just tends to happen. So, Let me know what you guys think of this hire in the comments down below. I will probably respond to them tomorrow. I haven't told you guys this, but I am back in school. I'm working on getting my master's degree. So a lot of that's been taking my time. That's why I haven't really been doing much green screen stuff, and I haven't been too active. But this YouTube channel is going to stay alive. I'm not going to let schoolwork, take me down, or work take me down. I work too hard to get up to this level, and a lot of people, I get thousands of people that watch every single one of my videos that relies on me for Jaguars content. So you can still continue to see content on this channel, and as always, I appreciate the support very much. And with all that said, Duval till I die. Go Jaguars. I'm out.